Hey guys, welcome to Outlaw Edge. So I'm waiting for the sun to come up. It's still early right now, but it's kind of nice and quiet in here, nobody bugging me. That unibody project I'm working on, one of my projects that I want to do today is I'd like to get the back of the cab finished up, get all the grinding done, and then I have that other patch panel that I've been wanting to work on, but I know it's gonna be a can of worms because as soon as I cut into it, I gotta replace the back of the cab and a whole bunch of pieces on there. So the front parts of the cab, I'm gonna flip the camera around and I'll show you where I'm at now. So I guess this is like a part 2 of the video that I was doing the other day. This is that piece that I was making. And what I ended up doing is I wanted to check this because I seen there's a bunch of rust, or not seen it, I could feel it inside there. There's a bunch of rust in there. I took the plasma cutter, cut that out of there. And this is that Yes Welder plasma cutter. Really like this thing. We use this a lot at that schoolie project in Ohio, and if you guys get a chance to get one of these are awesome. I was actually, sorry about the camera work, I was actually cutting 3/8 plate steel with this thing in Ohio on that bus. We were cutting those big brackets off the side of the bus, and it was going through 3/8 inch steel. So anybody that wants to say these won't cut thick steel, they're wrong. You know, you gotta go nice and slow and use a hammer to knock it off because the slag sticks a little bit, but I mean, it works good. But anyways, I cut this out, and the reason I did that is so I can reach in here and move this panel around, you know, up, down, side to side, whatever. I have a little bit of trimming to do right here on the sides. And I noticed that right here, this panel, see if I can get it to focus on there. This panel was all swelled out, and the reason for that, there was rust and water and debris back there. And what happened is water got behind that, as far as I could tell, and it swelled that panel out. So that one right there is just gonna be, you know, welded here, like this. And it won't have this shape. See, you can see that round piece there. So actually it'll come down like this. So I have to kind of finesse out a little bit, but I'll get this panel where I want it, and then I'll get all these shrinker stretcher marks out of there and hammer marks out of there. You can see them in the panel. And you can see how much of a radius or a bend that we put on the panel. I say we, you know, me and the mental guys in my head. And then I got this where, sorry about that. I got this where it's fitting really nice, where I can get it to sit up in there. I have a little bit of trimming so it sits a little bit better in there. And then down on the bottom, and I got these pieces marked here. It's got about an 1/8 inch. It's got to cut over to this line here, and then here to here. I'll get that trimmed. I'll get all this stuff hammered out, whatever. Maybe I'll set up a tripod. And I want to say thank you for everybody that sent out those tripods. I was being a smartass in the video. The last couple videos, I was being a smartass about the tripod being crap, and you know, a couple people were like, hey, I'm gonna send out some tripods. So I really appreciate you guys, man. And then one of the other things that I wanted to show, give me 1 second. So I thought it was really cool. Ali Shop, I hope I'm saying the name right. Ali Shop, he's in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. And he has an Instagram. If you guys haven't checked him out, go check him out on Instagram. He does some beautiful work. And really nice shirt. I can't wait to wear this. Sent me one of his business cards, so I'll give him a little plug for his shop. And that's Dan Runge. There's his phone number and stuff. I doubt the guy needs work because honestly, you know, he's just an insane fabricator. The guy does some beautiful work. And you know, he's the car and stuff that he just finished up, got out there on Instagram. Go check it out. Sent me some a business card and some nice stickers and a badass shirt. Really like this shirt, man. Thank you, appreciate it, man. And then one of my good buddies on YouTube also, this is Martin from Slow Shopping Customs. He sent me a handmade keychain. He made this on his 3D printer, which is really cool. So this will go in one of my hot rods. Thank you, Martin. Appreciate the stickers and stuff. You guys will see the stickers. These guys right here, these are all good people right here, man. And then he sent me a nice little card. I thought that was cool. That this is the car that he drives around. Thank you so much, Martin. You guys go check out Slow Shop and Customs on YouTube, and also check out Ali Shop on Instagram. I don't think he has a YouTube channel yet, but I'm trying to talk him into it, but we'll see what happens. And another thing that I'm gonna be sending some of these out to some people. When Heidi's making shirts, these are the test patterns, and to make sure the screens are correct. And all these have little like imperfections, so if it doesn't make a perfect shirt, she won't sell it. So these are like the paper patterns, but they make cool little posters in the shops or whatever. You guys will be getting some of those. Now I'm gonna just use a smooth flat face die on this. I just want to kind of knock some of this crap down, these marks that are in the metal, just to get it smooth out. I don't want to use one of the crown dies so that it I don't want to shape it or bring the panel up, if that makes sense. I just need to smooth it out and clean it up and make it look a little bit nicer. Wear ear protection. I have earplugs in already, but I'm gonna put these over the top, these earmuffs. If I'm talking loud, sorry about that. But wear ear protection, don't be a dumbass. This is gonna be really loud. This is the part right here where most guys give up on a panel when they're trying to make something. So when I ran that in the planishing hammer, it took on a little bit more shape, but it hardens the metal. I know that sounds weird, but it actually work hardens it. So I hammered it down like this with no kinks at all. You can see it didn't kink it at all, and that was just using a dead bow hammer on a flat surface. So it took some of that crown out of there. But also, when I ran that planishing hammer on the edge, it took this edge and lifted it up. So there's no two angles here now. Where this line is, that should be bent. So now what I gotta do is I gotta find the correct dolly to put in the vise and have something to bend that edge over. And I'm having a hard time trying to find the correct one, so if I have to, I will make one. And let me see what I can come up with. So numerous times I've talked about, picking up chunks of steel, and this is a really heavy iron. This is a vintage iron from like the 1900s or whatever. And it had a piece that actually broke off right here and cut the hell out of me. So you got to be careful welding to cast. But I was looking at the shape, and I can sit this on the beater bag, and the shape is almost identical to right here. So then that lip right there, that'll give me that perfect lip to run this edge over, to get this bend back in that lip. And I'll flip this around, obviously, and I'll just run it right. Sorry about the camera work, damn. And I'll run it right over the edge right here. This has a nice crisp edge, so that's what I think I'm gonna do. So to run this, this metal has memory in it, so it will actually bend right on that line where it was bent before. And when I flatten this out on a planishing hammer on accident, it happens. You know, like I said, that's where a lot of guys give up on panels and they just toss them in the middle pile, and then they make this out of, who was I talking to last night? I was talking to somebody on the phone. They were saying that, you know, a lot of people will make this out of like 3 different pieces of metal. Sorry, I can't remember who I was talking to. I had like 50 phone calls last night. But, you know, it's nicer if you can make it all out of one piece of metal. But you don't want to smash that end over. In my opinion, you want to hammer it over, but with a light tap hammer. And here's the thing is, when you have all different kinds of hammers, that's why I try to explain that, you know, all my hammers have different uses. So this one right here, if you see, this is really skinny and small. It's very lightweight, light in the hand, tap, 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 that's what you want. Then you got heavier, and it's, you know, this one's about 3/16. And then you have heavier, which is about 1/4 inch almost, but really heavy in the hand. This one's like medium, lightweight. And then this one here is, or actually this one would be 1/4 inch. And it's super heavy as far as hammering. So what I would use on this one is the lightest hammer that I have. And I actually have smaller, but I think this one's gonna work good. And then, you know, you're not gonna be hammering straight down. You're gonna be doing glancing blows like this. And I'll see if I can get this shape put back in there. Almost forgot to turn the damn camera on. Am I going the right way with that? Yeah. Now, if you come up to that line and you realize that your line is not hammered all the way over to the line, and you're like, oh crap, I just wrecked that panel, there's no need to keep messing around with it. I mean, you could put a little bender tool on it and move it around if you want, but the best way is just keep hammering, and you could walk that line right over to that line, or that fold. You could walk that fold over to that line if you just keep hammering on it. Hopefully that makes sense. And you can see I'm using the edge of this old iron, and I'm not hammering down like this, I'm hammering like this. I'm kind of glancing it off, and all you're doing is you're pulling that metal, you're walking it over. And that gives you that inside edge that was rotted out in the first place. And I'll just keep tapping on this until I get it smooth where I want it. So the next step I'll do is I want to get this edge cleaned up. And you could do that on like a harder anvil or a dolly, like a post dolly or whatever. But I find that it's a lot easier to get a smoother shape if you use the edge of a shrinking stump or, you know, piece of wood. Because what happens is the impact kind of goes into that wood. I know that doesn't make sense, or maybe it does. But you use the flat spot on the shrinking stump, and then you could hammer out all these edges and get them where you want. And then you could actually use that stump, and like I said, it sounds funny, but you could actually use that stump to start opening this up till you can fit it in the panel that you're working on, and you see that that's where you want it, and then you just smooth it out. So, you know, a lot of it just depends on, you know, you have to have patience and use the edge of the hammer and just walk that edge back and forth until you get it where you want it. And if it's not open enough, you literally just hammer it open a little bit more on a stump or something soft, or even a beater bag. You could use the beater bag, but I find like a lead shot beater bag is a little bit better when you're doing that kind of stuff compared to like when you're shaping with a sand beater bag. And that's why I have the two different styles. So I'm gonna hammer on this on the stump for a little bit so that I can get it to open up. This edge right here needs to be opened up just a little bit. I hammered it over just a little bit too much, and that's the thing is when you're doing metal shaping, a lot of times it's just patience, and I have zero patience. But to be honest, when I get in here, I kind of get into my zone, and I kind of get that like I'm gonna kick its ass mode. And you have to take one piece at a time, and you know, just work on it, get it set where you want it, fit it in there, take it out 100 times, and you know, there might be one panel that'll take, you know, like this panel here. I bet you I won't even have a half hour into it, but with the filming and everything, it's going to be 2 hours. But a lot of times there'll be a little panel or a big panel that it could take half an hour, or it could take you 3 days until you figure it out. You just got to be real patient with it. And like I said, this is 18 gauge, so this is a little bit thicker. This is 18 gauge sheet metal, I believe is what I'm using right now. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and hammer on this stump for a while and see if I can get this edge all walked around where I want it. I'm gonna smooth it out and then open it up a little bit. And the other thing here, I got this edge, this angle right here needs to come down just a little bit. So I'll kind of work on that a little bit too. So, and you know, I can probably just hammer right here a little bit just because it's so minute that I need to go down that, you know, I might be able to run a hammer right on this edge and pull it up just a little bit. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my other hammer here. So on this one, I'm leaving marks. I'm leaving marks with the steel hammer. So I'm just using my shaping hammer, and I'll probably use this edge or I don't know. I got to see what it's gonna do first. A lot of times when you're doing panels, you just kind of got to figure out what's gonna happen when you start beating on them. You know, where they're gonna go, what they're gonna do. Yeah, that one worked out way better. Now I'll go ahead and get this fit into the truck. you guys can deal with the crappy camera work. Yeah, this needs the steel to go a little bit flatter. So I'll go ahead and hammer this, and I'll get it where I want it, get it trimmed, and get it ready to weld in, and we'll go from there. The other day I did a video on, making your own tools, and these are dapping or corking tools. And a buddy of mine and myself, we made a bunch of these. We have a whole bunch of them that we made all different shapes and sizes, and I have round ones and, square ones. And this is just a not a polyurethane, it's a Delrin plastic, Delrin brand plastic. And I have like round ones here for different shapes. And what I'll do is I'll take this one, and you can see it's already been beat up a little bit, but I'll take this one and I'll run it in that shape right there, like this, and I'll get it into the shape that I need, because this is the shape here that I need. All I do is a lot of times I'll take these and I'll just cut them where I need them, and I'll hammer this into that shape. Sorry about the glare. I'll hammer that into the shape that I need, and then when that smooths out, that'll match that that shape right there, because I took this radius off the truck itself. So I know that when I'm done, that radius that's in that spot that I'm building will match this. So I got the panel fitting really nice, and I made this a while back. This is a corking or dapping tool, but made out of wood instead of the Delrin plastic. And this one's got like a 1/2 inch on it here. The end is like a 1/2 inch, and this one's about 1/4. And what I'm doing is I'm using that to hammer in here, and I'll knock that down and then start welding it. So don't be afraid to make your own tools, But I'll get this piece welded in and we'll see how it turns out. Pretty much done with this panel for right now. I got a little bit of welding to do on the edges, but you can see how nice it turned out. Looks factory. I'll prime it, and after it's done primed and whatever, it'll look really good. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any comments, leave them down below. Please subscribe to our channel, and please subscribe to our other channel, which is NZ Mopar Outlaw Customs. And I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you on the next video. Later.